Yo-yo dieting is one of the hardest, most common thing people do these days. And it's because of this one cycle that I want to share with you today, and I want to show you how you can break it and actually achieve the goals that you want to achieve and keep them. So what is this diet cycle all about? Well, let's start from the very beginning. Most people get motivated for one reason or the other. It might have been that they saw a reflection in the mirror and they hated what they saw. Maybe they have a wedding or some sort of event coming up. Maybe their friends did something that also transformed their body and you're like, hey, I should do that too. Or maybe you're just fed up of feeling the way you're feeling. Whatever it may be that motivated you to start your program, you're going to go ahead and start. Now, how people go about this is they go on Google, they search the best diet available, or they ask their friends that were actually successful on some sort of program and ask them what they did. Then they follow the program. Now, generally, a diet program has very strict regimens that require a lot of sacrifice to take on at the very beginning. And this can be too much for most people. But because you're new, because you still feel motivated, you go ahead and succeed for the first week and you see amazing, great results on the bathroom scale. The next week, the scale might not show so much, but you're still feeling a bit motivated, you're still feeling good, and you continue with the program. Come a couple of weeks later when it gets really tough and the results stop to show up as often, you start to get demotivated, it starts to get tough. And then you start to have these urges to eat foods that are forbidden. They're the ones that are going to make you put on weight. So you fight the temptation for another week or so. But then eventually it comes in and you cave. And you actually go ahead and eat those evil foods. And what happens? You feel guilty. And when you feel guilty, you feel worthless and you feel like there's no point. So you throw in the towel and everything goes away. And then the weight comes back on. You see, weight loss, losing weight, isn't the end of the journey. In fact, it's just the beginning of the journey, because weight loss isn't something that you can do one time, achieve it, and forget about it. You've got to consistently stay at it. You've got to consistently be eating well. You've got to consistently be active. You've got to consistently be sleeping well, not being so stressed out, all these types of things. And when you take this all or nothing approach at the very beginning, for most people, in fact, 95% of people, they're leading themselves up for failure. So what can you do about it? And how can you make sure that this time that you try and transform your body is actually going to be successful? Well, there are a couple of things that you need to pay attention to. The first one is your expectations. You can't expect to be perfect the whole time. I guarantee you that there's no one in this world that is perfect 100% of the time. We all slip up, and that is okay. That is perfectly normal. The reason why you need to understand this is because when you slip up, you can allow yourself the freedom to actually move forward, because this is part of the journey. So stop expecting the impossible from yourself. The second thing is stop worrying about how much you weigh. Start focusing on creating healthy habits. Habits is the key thing here, because if you lock down your habits into your system, into your day, create daily routines, you have a much higher chance of actually sticking to the routine as you move forward in your program and as you continue to live your life that you want to live. And the third thing that you should know is take it easy. I understand you have an event coming up, or you want to get rid of the fat today, or better yet, yesterday you want to get rid of it. But the truth of the matter is that the weight is something that you cannot dictate to lose. Now, obviously, if you want to go on a crash diet and lose it right now, then you can do that. And it will lose, but it'll be a lot worse for you in the future. It'll be harder for you to lose the weight when you finally come to terms that you've got to let it take its time. You've got to relax and you've got to enjoy the journey. So start focusing on these key points, stop stressing about it, and you will achieve the goals, and better yet, you'll be able to keep the results for the rest of your life.